Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. The Florida Gators set to hold another massive recruiting weekend as they take on the Arkansas Razorbacks. Blackout jerseys, it's going to be a rowdy environment, a chance to get to that 6-win mark. And the narrative heading into this Florida season was, can Billy Napier win enough games to just hold on to this 2024 class that he put together in the summer? Florida Gators have taken a step forward. They're not just trying to hold on, they're trying to build an even stronger class in 2024. And what excites me the most about this Florida team is one, that 2023 class that I think left a sour taste in some Gator fans' mouths with what happened with Jaden Rashada. You're seeing them really hit on that class. They have a lot of true freshmen that seem to be future impact players for the Gators, right? Eugene Wilson, Kelby Collins. If you can build into this 2024 class and stack another elite class, that is how this Florida team gets back to a roster that's competing for SEC titles. Really excited to get into some of these top targets. Before we do, just want to say thank you to you guys and a special shout out to the Florida fans. This has been a recruiting class that we've talked a lot about in the summer. We've continued to talk about in the fall, and you guys have shown a ton of support. So if you do enjoy the content and enjoy the updates, consider subscribing to the channel. And who knows, we might have some news coming out of this weekend to talk about for the Gators on the recruiting trail. But again, appreciate you guys rocking with the boys. Without further ado, let's get into this one. Top three class in the 2024 cycle and looking to build on it. The first recruit I want to talk about, and a guy that we've talked about just so much in terms of the Florida Gators, it's the number one player in the country, Jeremiah Smith. And what excites me most about this, and Florida fans know, like flipping Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State is going to be extremely hard. Billy Napier's recognized that, and that's why he's put so much effort into this recruitment. But what excites me the most about this is who can be the best recruiter for an elite wide receiver like Jeremiah Smith? It's DJ Lagway. And you take a look at what DJ Lagway has done as a senior. You take a look at the numbers through 9 games, a 78% completion percentage, 3,200 yards, 45 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. You add on 600 rushing yards for 9 touchdowns. DJ Lagway has skyrocketed up the recruiting rankings. He's a top 20 consensus prospect across the country, one of the top quarterbacks in the class. With all of DJ Lagway's success in the future looking bright for this Florida Gators offense, I wonder if that kind of weighs in Jeremiah Smith's mind, saying, I can go play for one of the most talented quarterbacks in the country. And with the continued emergence of DJ Lagway, I think that only helps the Jeremiah Smith selling point that, hey, this Florida Gators offense can be elite. And what I think another thing we've talked about is look at what Eugene Wilson's doing. As a true freshman, Eugene Wilson is a centerpiece in this Florida Gators offense, and this is no disrespect to Eugene Wilson. Jeremiah Smith can come in and be just as, if not more, productive as a true freshman. So you're selling him like you can be an instant impact playmaker in this Florida Gators offense that you probably can't be at Ohio State your first year. I think the selling points for Florida to Jeremiah Smith continue to get better. Now, a couple other massive targets that we're taking a look at. The next one, and I really like the traction that's happening here. Xavier Miny from Mainland. He goes to the same schools, plays for the same team as LJ McCray, who just committed to the Florida Gators a couple weeks ago. Xavier Miny's always been kind of a Florida Gators lean from what you've been reading and what you've been hearing. The commitment of LJ McCray to the Florida Gators, I think, further helps Xavier Miny's cause to end up a Florida Gator as well, and they'll both be on campus for Arkansas, right? LJ McCray going to be there, Xavier Miny going to be there. It looks good for the Florida Gators to land Xavier Miny, who I think can be a freak show at that safety spot, right? 6'3", 180, has great length, a phenomenal athlete, top 100 national prospect. I mean, Billy Napier is continuing to stack blue chip recruits into this 2023 class and continuing in that secondary is another guy. And let's start with this, right? We're talking about some of these guys like Jeremiah Smith and like Jameer Grimsley. We'll talk about another one who are committed to other schools, but we've seen this before. Like people in these players have committed so early on in this process, their recruitments are still open. And a guy like Xavier Grimsley, who I know very well because I wanted him to be a Michigan Wolverine, would be another great addition to the class. You take a look at just the traits that Xavier Grimsley has. He's an elite track and field athlete, so he has that long speed, and the frame is certainly there too. 6'3", 185 pounds. Got the length to put hands on receivers, has the long speed to play with wide receivers down the field. Xavier Grimsley, one of the more talented cornerbacks in the class. That's why Alabama and Nick Saban went after him. And it sounds like the Florida Gators are making some serious strides in flipping Xavier Grimsley, and he's going to be on campus for this one as well. So you look at what they're doing in the back end, Xavier Grimsley, Xavier Miny potentially. I mean, these are quality players to add into the back end when you have a front seven that is absolutely loaded with talent in this 2024 class. Last guy I want to talk about, another 2024 kid who's committed to another school in Jordan Pride. And Jordan Pride's kind of had a wild recruitment and kind of a wild evaluation, right? You see the 24/7 Sports Composite, a top 200 national prospect. There are some recruiting services that have Jordan Pride as a top 100 national dude. He was committed to Florida State, decommitted, committed to Texas A&M, and now it sounds like the Florida Gators, he's a Florida guy, are making a push at him as well. So you take a look at what Billy Napier's doing, and I think there's two things that are really exciting for Florida fans. One, you're seeing a lot of young guys have tremendous impact on this Florida Gators team. So what are these guys in the 2024 class seeing? They're seeing true freshmen get a lot of playing time, get a lot of opportunity to show what they can do on the football field. And a lot of these other schools that you're competing against, they can't really sell the same thing. I mean, you look at Ohio State, they've had wide receivers, a guy like Carnell Tate, who is kind of waiting in the wings, not really getting much action as a true freshman. You even go back to Marvin Harrison Jr.'s freshman year at Ohio State, he barely played. And so what can Florida sell that a lot of schools like Ohio State, Alabama, Texas A&M, who they're competing against, can't really sell is, hey, you're going to have an opportunity to come in and play meaningful snaps as a true freshman, as a second-year guy. These other Power 5 schools can't really sell that. And so I'm really excited to see what Billy Napier can do. And again, the narrative heading into the season was, can Billy Napier win enough games to hold together this class? It's looking like the Florida Gators, they're winning some football games. They're looking a lot better than most people thought they would. And it's looking like they'll have a chance to not only maintain this 2024 class, but continue to build on it. And that is when you talk about the Florida Gators getting back to where they belong, it starts with the talent acquisition. Dan Mullen just, quite frankly, did not do a good enough job getting that baseline talent to compete for national championships, to compete for SEC titles. You're seeing Billy Napier, and again, frustrating performances on the field, and I totally get that, but you're seeing him get the talent in. And I think that talent is going to translate on the football field, giving some time. We're going to see how this recruiting weekend plays out. We might see some news for the Florida Gators on the recruiting trail coming in the next couple of days. We'll be covering it. Again, appreciate you guys rocking with the boys, the Florida fans, always showing a ton of love. You guys know I love talking this program. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later.